They'll be like medical messes.
It's okay. Hey,
It's okay. I got the immune system of
everyone
a
has
whale.
their own issues.
That's true, Court.
What do you say?
I said I have the immune system of a whale, so we're good.
Oh yeah, it'll balance it out. What?
Yep. They'll just be normal.
Or it's fucking drinking tea with like fucking cheese in it. Like all those fucking like ants everywhere. All those effects, man.
I'm horrified to live with him.
Really great.
No, dude, you were like, it's not gross. That's gross.
You said it's disgusting.
It is disgusting.
It's mildly gross. Like, why is there cheese in my tea? What the fuck? It's not like. Bleh! It's not bad. Like
literally, if I like took a sip and then noticed that there was cheese in my tea, I would vomit.
God.
You're just a little baby then, aren't you?
I mean, I'm kind of a dramatic bitch, but like, you know.
Yeah, we've established this.
God damn, dude. I'm having such a good time. Oh. Alright, well. 4 minutes.
Alright, E, what are you going to teach us today?
Alright, I'm going to teach you some hit scan basics. I'm going to teach you a technique that I personally use, and then what you can do to improve your like tracking and like mechanical skill and how important it is to hit scan's job. Because honestly, what's gonna get you from plat to diamond is just ironing out this mechanical skill and the positioning as well. And so it's just understanding how each character has its value range, and I'm gonna go over a good bit, so hopefully it'll be good.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but I personally think that like my mechanical skills aren't holding me back from getting to diamond. It's more just map knowledge and positioning and stuff like that. And I've been working on that a lot with Widowmaker and trying to like constantly rotating and use parts of the map that I never had before and stuff like that.
Let me restate that. So getting from gold to plat is pretty much mechanical skill.
Yeah.
Getting from plat to diamond is refining those mechanics and being more consistent with them, and then also like game knowledge as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's more of an accurate. All right. Cool. Where's the streaming button?
It's besides the recording button.
Oh, there we go. All right, let's get this show in a row. So hit scan is there's two types of DPS. There's your flex DPS and there's your hit scan. Hit scan heroes are pretty much going to be primarily, it's going to be it's not an easy role, but it's a lot easier than playing flex DPS just because of the fact that whatever you shoot is, join stream. Whatever you shoot counts as a hit, like no matter what. And so that's what makes it easier to grind out those mechanics. Personally, for me, I think a foundation of being a very good hit scan is refining your mechanics, like a couple techniques the couple like important things that you should be like applying when you're playing the game is making sure your crosshair is always at head level no matter what. Being in full control of your crosshair and like your mouse movements, knowing your sense, and then there's this technique where I track and I do like very little flicks. It's very, it makes it easier, it makes it more consistent, but it can be also a little difficult to get a hold of. So hit scan, breaking it down, going from like hero to hero, each hero has its own value and its own value range. For example, Widow's value range is long distance to medium. She's not built for short range. She doesn't get her value from short range. However, she can get some value. She says it's not her prime duty. McCree is...
1 second. Meow, please join.
Join us.
Are you here?
Join us.
This is a mandatory lesson.
There we go. Cool. So, for example, like McCree is very medium to short range. He's not built for long range. So, understanding your hero's value range and understanding how it will affect your team. So if you're playing double shield and you're going against a double shield, playing Widow against double shield is very hard. It's all going to be about out positioning their shields and knowing the angles. For example, for like Widow here, if all the Sigma has to do is place his shield in front of their Widow and you just can't kill her. You can go for a flank, you can go over here and if like see, you can go for a, let me restate this. You can go underneath here, go for like if they're pushed back. It's all about out positioning your opponent and understanding how your position will affect your team. So if your team is pushing here, let me just grab these boys and push them up there, and you're playing with your team as Widow, your position here is allowing their Widow to play more of an off angle, and you're not getting the value, so you're not really benefiting your team. This is just a Juggernaut's a good example just to show like different types of angles for Widow. Like Widow has tons of angles on this map. This is full on sniper. So
this is her best.
Yeah, this is this and Havana is Widow's best map to play on. So this is if you're gonna be running this, you definitely want to be running Widow. So breaking it down a little bit more, how to properly execute your job as hitscan is understanding your team's pace and then understanding what your team's job is and how your role plays a part of it. So like for here as with double shield with Hanzo, you're running the Hanzo for the shield break. You have double shield just because for the cover on Widow, and Sigma can play an off angle with the Hanzo, and you go for a spam while your Widow can play another off angle. Your job here as Widow is to always try and keep the pressure up on their shields for when you do break their shields and going for those picks, as well as keeping up the pressure on the enemy Widow. The most important thing about hitscan though is confidence. Like confidence is key. That's key to any DPS. That's key to any support role, any tank role. You gotta be confident in your abilities. Because if you're not confident in your abilities, you're gonna lose those Widow duels 9 times out of 10. Your mechanical skill won't save you. It's like look at Super. Super is one hell of a confident guy, and all he does is trash talk people, and he has the biggest ego on the earth in that big forehead, but he's good at his job. You know why? He's very confident and he knows his abilities and he trusts in them. So what I did as kind of like a mixed hitscan to flex DPS player right now is I spent like a month or two grinding out my mechanics so that I could trust in myself to hit those shots. Like I knew my sense. I knew my flex. I knew my job. I knew what I was supposed to be doing here. And so trusting in yourself and your own abilities is going to be one of the most beneficial things you can ever do as a DPS. Oh, we got another person. Hi, Silver. All right, so we're gonna go over some techniques, and let me launch up Overwatch real quick. Are there like any questions? I kind of like read through, kind of like some of the basics.
I don't think so.
Alrighty. Let me launch Overwatch. This gets very fun. So like an example for like let's say you're playing McCree. McCree has like different types of like play styles, and it's understanding which playstyle is going to benefit you the most. Like DPS is all about figuring out the weakness of the enemy team and how you can exploit it and how you can get your job and do it efficiently. So like let's say they're running let's say if they're running like Zen and then running Mercy and you're on Oasis. They're Zen's and you're playing Tracer. Their Zen is the easiest target. He's their weakness. Your best bet as doing your job as Tracer is to pressure him no matter what, and always keeping like pressure on him and in their back line. Because Tracer she's meant as she's not really meant as a distraction, but she's there for when your team does go in and like distracts them. You're there to follow up on the damage. She's a big person in following up kills. Let me get this. Get this going. Sorry. I should have set up. Okay. Where is Overwatch? Alright. You guys see Overwatch, right?
Yep.
Okay. So for me, let's break down Widow and Ashe for a second as hitscan. So for different like things that can help you as Widow and Ashe and Ascending like hitscan is building up your reaction time, and so this is a really good workshop mode that can help you out with that. There's also this Widow 1v1 training mode where you can actually go against a Widow bot. Core did it today, and it's actually pretty good. But I'm gonna show you some techniques real quick. So what had helped me is I like doing Autobots because honestly I think it's my favorite way to practice and like get a that's how I got a hold like grasp like my my mechanical skills. I just spent time in here.
One shot.
So basically the first step that I did to help get my mechanical skill to where it's, you know, decently in it. I'm still not proud of it and I'm still working on it and I'm trying out a new sense. But is making sure like my cursor is always at head level, like no matter what. Always at head level, and then I would just always like make sure I'm tracking the Autobot. I don't really care if I'm like missing shots, but I want to make sure that I'm tracking and I'm always at like head level. Like going for those flicks. Not really caring if I'm hitting my shots. Just making sure I'm at head level and I'm just tracking them. Just following them. Just maintaining that because it's very important as like McCree it makes your job easier to hit those flicks. Because I had a habit of just diagonal flicking and doing like up flicking and it's not very beneficial. So if you do like if I'm at head level and I'm just tracking her, it's a lot easier to hit the shot and go for the flicks. So my technique that I practice and that I think is one of the most consistent techniques is going for a track, like tracking them, and then going for like micro flicks onto them.
Rest in peace. You best head for the hills. I'm on fire.
But honestly, just spending time, like getting a hold of your sense and just, you know, getting more confident in your abilities, like it gives you like this foundation of like trust within yourself that, you know, I can hit my shots and I can do this and I can, you know, rely on myself. Because if you, like, DPS is all about confidence. You don't have to have a big ego to play DPS well, but it's really gonna benefit you if you, like, trust yourself. You have that confidence.
Hey there.
What would be like your number one recommendation to like find that like great sense? You know what I mean?
Honestly,
Like, I think that's a good question.
So that's a good question. Honestly, just feeling like experimenting each day. So like, let's say I used to play at like 9 on like 400 DPI. I know that's what I'm playing at right now. But I've been kind of experimenting with like 8 and just seeing how that feels. Honestly, like understanding. So like for DPS, the best, the average EDPI is 3.2k. And so I play at 3.6k. You guys know how to find your EDPI, right?
Yeah, mine's 3.
Yeah, it's just your sense times your DPI. And so that's a good thing you can look up for like each role, because I know for like tank it's a little bit higher. But understanding like where the average player base like in like pro levels have their like EDPI can like help give you kind of starting position. But honestly, just like you know, experimenting with it one day. If you feel like it's too high or you want to transition to a different like sense, just take away like little by little and just see how you feel. Like for me, it took me like 2.5 years to figure out what sense that I enjoyed.
No payment required.
So just like doing it little by little. Like if you're trying to transition to like let's say you want to transition to 9 or you want to transition to like 8 from 9. You'd want to go like little by little each day and just slowly get yourself used to it. You don't want to make very like drastic changes because it's just really it's not gonna help you out. It's just gonna make you feel like you're playing worse. But just do like little changes and just kind of, you know, just feel out what feels natural to you. The game is all about like I play with pink or magenta enemy color just because I can't see red very well. So and my crosshair is green even though I like to use yellow. So like it's all personal preference. Like do what feels good for you. Like do what feels comfortable for you. And if you're struggling to find out, you know, what's a good starting point, just search up like professional EDPI for like supports or whatever like role you're trying out for like hit scan. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. I think this is the list.
Liquipedia also has everybody's stats and gear and everything.
Like honestly, just figure out what works for you. The average DPI for DPS players is. I don't agree with that. That's not right.
That's really high.
That's so high. Yeah, no, that's. I don't agree with that. This is also a Blizzard forum post. What is this one?
Yeah.
Oh god.
Really?
Really? Okay.
I mean, you have those edge scenarios where people have like really high settings, like Pine, for example. I know there's
I could be wrong. You know,
a player that's like 10,000 DPI and 10 cents, so it's.
I could be wrong. Just figure out what works for
happening.
you, honestly. Like, I always put 3.6 because that's like a lot of like Defran plays on it, Karagi plays on it. A lot of DPS players that I watch and I like their style play on it. Just kind of like figure out what works for you. Like I've been trying out 8 because I feel like it just feels a lot more natural than 9 because I feel like if I'm not paying attention with my 9 and it's too high, I don't hit my shots. It doesn't feel like natural. Alright.
Who's got the hot hand?
So, with playing hitscan, and let's say like McCree, I wonder if I have a good VOD of this. I probably do. It's positioning, game sense, and then understanding how to effectively do your job. So it can be kind of difficult to figure it out, and understanding like you have to adapt your playstyle to what the enemy team is throwing at you. So like let's say they're throwing like an Echo, McCree, like Ryan Hogg, more Lucio. It's that weird comp. You have to make sure that you adapt your playstyle and your positioning to effectively do your job against them. So like for in that situation, I'd be playing safer, like a defensive McCree. Like if I was like I've seen that happen on a 2CP map. Let me see if I can find that VOD so I can actually show you my positioning and maybe that'll like help you guys out a little bit more. But it's all about like adapting. So of what the enemy team is throwing at you. So like if they're throwing a very fast and aggro comp and they're really like they're going for like brawl, switching to a Reaper would be really good just to like put up that punishing power. Switching to McCree for the stun. Just understanding, how to counter their comp and am I able to do my job in this situation? Am I able to get my value with this hero? I wonder if it's... This is quarantine. My bad.
Field, we can run.
This isn't it. It's actually this one.
He sounds very.
So this is one of my not one of my first scrims, but one of my scrims with this new team. So alright, so I'm gonna show you my positioning. This was a while ago. I'm gonna go for defense because that's when my positioning was actually really good. Okay, hi, I'll have High Noon here.
They're gonna try and diva bomb us here.
Echo Discord.
They also have ball ult, so be careful with ball ult.
I'm gonna try and pull their Hanzo up
They definitely have
top.
pulse.
Echo Discord. Echo Discord. She's top left.
Oh, their ball's in, Nano.
Ball ult.
He's discorded. D1, D1, kill the
I'm
D1.
sleeping. Fuck, I'm gonna get killed.
Kill the
You're
baby.
down
Oh
one.
my
Echoes
god,
with
that
Diona,
was
Echoes with Diona.
Wait, you're down.
I'm dead.
What do you guys think I was holding up there?
Why?
Yeah.
High ground, you can see like pretty much everything. Easier to put pressure on the aerial people. You can drop down to their
Cover
health and
is
you're
right
just,
there.
Yeah.
just cover to your sides. Yeah.
I'm understanding that with their ball comp and the echo, they're going for very fast and very like high damage like attacks. And so the farther back I can play with more sidelines. So if I was playing like down here in this corner, my sidelines to them would be really awful. And I wouldn't be able to get the value out of McCree if I was playing there. Because then I wouldn't first off they could just go move in on point and they would already be pressuring me there from this angle. But they actually have to come to me and they have to get out in this big open space to actually be able to deal with me here or flank. And so this just gives me bigger sightlines. So when the ball does come in or when Echo does come in, she has to come into my silence for her to actually get her job done. If I was playing over here, she has this big cover right here. And she has more cover and I have less sidelines. So I won't be able to punish her as
Oh, their ball's in, Nano.
I died here, but still it was
He's discorded.
the best position.
D.Va 1, D.Va 1, kill the
I'm
D.Va.
sleeping? Fuck, I'm gonna get killed.
Kill the
You're
baby.
down
Oh
one.
my
Echoes
god,
with
that
Diona,
was
Echoes
shooting
with
at me.
Diona.
Wait, you're down.
I'm dead.
You're down
Fuck.
too.
Bongo on
Aaron,
point.
point.
We lose this, but it was still like one of the better positions for me to be holding. Let me see if I can find earlier.
With Zen. Can't see you. Can't see you.
I'm gonna die. Yeah.
We got high. I'll have high noon here. Wait, is this the same
They're gonna
fight?
try and diva bomb us here.
Echo Discord.
Yeah, it is.
They
My
also
bad.
have ball ult, so be careful. Ball.
Pretty sure we
Echo
able
one.
to. Okay, so I switch back. Just like the way I'm positioning, it makes the Echo's job a lot harder for her to
Going
do.
left side.
It's
I think
always
they're
trying to
all-
punish when I
watching right
can,
side.
but playing defensively and safe to where like I do have an area for me to get away from. Like the Echo always, no matter what she wants to do, she always has to come into my sightlines and comes close to me.
Left side. They're going left side. Left side.
Yeah, so here I'm
top
just
right
putting
now.
some pressure.
Tracer's left as well.
Oh, they're bombing in.
Careful bomb.
Throwing orb on point.
Oh, heavy reset beating.
So-
Tracer 1.
Can't see you.
I'm pulling to Lucio.
here.
Lucio low,
Echo,
Lucio 1.
Echo. Echo on
Playing as a
Tracer.
bot.
Tracer actually 1 HP.
It's okay though.
Nice kill.
It's just a threat. It's the same way as like playing Widow. It's like the threat of me makes this Echo like afraid. Like she has to come into like closer to me. This is not a very good bot for me to show this, but it's it's something. It's something. Is there like any questions? I don't feel like I'm explaining this well. Is there like questions on like how to like doing the job, or is there any? Are you guys struggling with anything?
No.
I feel like my aim is just really bad, and I don't really know how to get better at that.
So I would start off first with just trying to keep your cursor at head level. That helped me out
Yeah.
a lot. And then just trying to be. It sounds easier. It's easier said than done, but trying to be in full control of it. So like knowing that I'm in control. Like my movements. Like I'm going from here. I'm not, because I had a habit of where I would like flick and then I would like just do this.
Yeah.
And I would like do that, like to reset my aim. I wouldn't be in control, but like being in control and like having patience with your shots. Just trying to
There's
like,
also aim lab that I
yeah,
use.
aim lab's really good. There's aim lab. There's the Widow 1v1 bot. Let me show that one. It's actually pretty cool. I got Core to try it out today.
I need the codes.
I will send you the codes. Widow's fun. Widow's
How
about.
does the
Go ahead.
How does the reaction time one work?
Let me show you.
Traveling to Havana.
Okay, I wanted it to load before I did anything. It's actually pretty cool. Oh wait, I probably need to look. They're all on queue. Okay. All right. So you're stuck here in this position, like I can't move. Like you can hear me, I can't move. And you can
Yeah.
pick out which one you want, like easy, medium, or hard. And you see that it
Okay.
changes the sidelines here.
Uh-huh.
So if I did easy,
Come out.
and there's like a McCree that walks. You know, he just like walks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then you get like 10 tries to do it. I'm not the best at it 'cause I just get nervous. You know, like you look at it for so long and you're just like, are they coming?
Yeah.
It's a good
Interesting.
way to
Okay.
just like, you know, get better at reaction time. Or just like,
That's cool.
yeah. It does it like 10 times and it like shows you your score.
This would be super helpful, actually.
Yeah, you want the code?
Yeah, absolutely.
Would y'all be interested in me creating like a code channel?
Hell yeah, that'd be awesome.
That way, like people can like, you know, go back and like share codes. Okay, cool. I'll make that.
Yeah, that's a good idea, actually.
So you kind of just sit here and McCree like walks. You can even like put your cursor like right there. I don't know why I'm saying cursor, but yeah, it goes like the 10 and the angles get harder.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Let me show you the other one. Hitscan's just like, it's like any DPS. It's figuring out how to get your job done and, you know, adapting your playstyle. I think is the, let me give you the 3 biggest things. So, confidence. Gotta be confident. You gotta be like macho man. Think of Super. That's how confident you gotta be. Or Carpe.
Can you talk about like the different play styles? Like, for example, like how a McCree should like probably be playing versus like a Widow. You know what I mean?
So you can duel a Widow. This is gonna be bad advice, but you can't duel a Widow if she's in your range, and if she's one thing you know that she's, you know, you can exploit her. You don't ever want to do anything unless you know the playstyle of the other player and how to exploit them. So when you're playing against a Widow, you want to play at the start of the match as safe as possible. You don't ever want to be out in the open. You don't want to be peeking anything, but you also still want to be able to. You still want to make sure you're doing your job. You're just not going to be peeking anything without a shield or without help of your team. So let's say if they're playing a very let's say if they're playing a lot of like really fast, like hard dives on you, you as McCree would probably get more value playing more defensively with your supports and with your backline or whatever they're diving on with you than going like for flank or going off to get the high ground. You just have to understand like my play style when going against like the high damage like dive. I need to be playing more safe and defensive so I can make sure that A, I can still get my job done, and B, I can protect my backline. Because it's understanding like how each hero in like a match of Overwatch affects the rest of the team. So if I play McCree, it's gonna affect the rest of my team no matter what. It's just how whether that effect is good or whether that effect is bad, and understanding like, okay, I need to switch off here. I'm getting countered, or I need to counter them. I get more value. It's like chess, I guess. It's someone's doing this thing, so either I can change my playstyle to counter them, or I can counter them by switching to a different hero, or I'm perfectly fine. Like it's a lot of like game sense and just honestly just experimenting with things. I think the best way to test your playstyle and like figure out, okay, so that's not what I should be doing. Like that's not what I should be doing is testing it out like quick play or maybe in comp. What helped me out a lot as McCree, and it's because I'm kind of like a McCree main, it's just experimenting. Like I would see, okay, so we're struggling in the brawl and there's nothing I could do to help the brawl. Maybe I should go in for flanks, or maybe I should pressure them from an off angle, or maybe I need to be focusing someone different to help my tanks in. Just like experimenting and just like, you know, just try and trying to think more and be like, okay, they're doing this, what am I gonna do about it? If that was kind of a lot, but that helps, I guess. I don't know that I don't know. Let me know if that didn't help. I can like explain it a different way, or let me show. There's a sniper alley. I think like the best tip that I can give for how to like change your playstyle is just experimenting with different things. Like experiments, like try and go for flanks and quick play. Try and go for, you know, go grabbing the high ground. Trying to you know, outsmart the Echo, or playing with your tanks and going for a flash above the shield, or trying to bait out the trying to bait him with the flash. Like it's just thinking about like what the enemy team is running and what you can do to exploit it, what their weaknesses is, and how do you effectively do your job and do it. So like the best thing when you're doing like Mei, McCree, Rhine, like Diva, more Lucio, kind of like Brawl, the best thing you can do as McCree is spam your right click against the enemy Rhine shield. Like you don't ever hear like use your right click often, but honestly you get more bullets out quicker than you do by just pressing left click. So if you can break the shield or go for a stun above the Rhine shield or stunning the Mei every time she tries to pressure your Reinhardt, that's how you could effectively do your job in that situation. But also like if you're playing dive and you're playing tracer, how to effectively do your job is you want to let your team dive in first and then be the follow-up killer, or pressuring the enemy team's backline if you can. It's just trying to like experimenting and seeing, you know, okay, so this is the enemy's, their weakness is their backline. How am I going to exploit it? Or I'm getting countered here. What would be the best pick for me to go? Kind of like ordeal. Like it's just a lot of like factors, and it's just trying to analyze and, you know, I mean, like even if you like switch off when you didn't need to, that's just experimenting with different things honestly helps you. Like you get experience from testing out different things, and honestly like experience is gonna help you become a better player. So don't be afraid to make mistakes, honestly. Like I wouldn't have gotten, I've made so many I've made so many god awful mistakes, so it's no big deal. I think just testing some things out, and like I can like give out some of my VODs from like a bird's eye view. I think we had I have some Somber VODs. They're actually really good. But it's just kind of like knowing what the, let me show you an example. That's actually good. So a scrim that happened, I don't know if last night's was a good, yeah, we'll do last night's. God, I don't know. There we go. Sorry if I like go like on to topic. I'm just kind of heads a little everywhere today. It'd be like that. All right.
Like that.
They really do be like that. Can I view it? I can't view it. Why can't I view it? Oh. It really be like one of those days, guys. God damn.
Just one of those days.
All right. So this enemy team ran a lot of like Doom, and they ran a lot of Doom. And so what I've been working on with this team that I'm currently on is just why can't I press in? Hello? Okay, I can't press in. That's interesting.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Dude, that's so weird.
Round 1. Capture the objective.
I can't press N. Okay, anyway. We'll
Can you spectate yourself with like the F? Maybe?
I can't. Why can't I press N?
You'd be F9.
Yeah, I can spectate myself. I wanted to be able to pause it and stuff, but it won't.
Ready for battle.
Oh well, I guess not. That's interesting. Okay. So this team ran a lot of like Doom Tracer. They just ran a lot of Doom. And so the person like for me, when I come out of here, you'll see like my decision making on who I actually go for a hack on. But it's trying to adapt, because Sombra's she can be a lot of fun to play. But you have to try and like figure out, you know, should I be playing with my team here? Should I be playing an off angle? Should I be pressuring their backline? It's just kind of like figuring out that good balance of what is needed and what's not needed.
Looking for
Trying to get a hack off on their main tank allows the main tank to not be able to escape. And just like I see the Brigitte as the easier kill, and she can't pressure me. She has no stun, so I pressure her. Yeah, I don't. So every time I hear that, God, I hate that I can't pause it. That makes me so upset. Anyway, so I see that every time I hear that Doom's going for a punch, I never take the duel because it's there's no reason for me to, and there's no reason that I should be on his radar. Like I shouldn't be in his face all the time. I should be waiting for him to engage on a person, and then I go for the. I let a teammate distract him, and then I go for the hack on him, which is gonna give me more value. So I'm getting in position for EMP. So I'm just waiting. I'm being patient. I'm waiting until I know my team can engage on it. I see that we don't need EMP, so then I'm just pressuring them, and then I'm just going for the following up kills. She's a lot. Summer's a lot like playing Tracer. I could be pressuring them more in spawn, but I already have EMP, so I didn't go for it. I could have gone for a hack on him, but my team wasn't in position to go, to kill him, and Ball is just not a good target to go to try and kill. So just me being patient, like waiting here is gonna be the best, like, call. I'm actually just gonna go into them. Because I know Brigitte can't stun me if I'm above her. So basically, I'm letting my team take all the attention. It's like playing WoW, dude. That's a good example. It's like playing WoW. Have you guys ever played like any like World of Warcraft?
Yeah.
No.
So you know there's always one person that's gonna take all the attention and like, oh, I don't.
Tank, yeah.
The tank, yeah, he takes all the attention and like he's like the biggest threat, and so you're free to do your job for like you're just free to do your job and no one looks at you, and you have to make sure your threat level is low enough. So with playing Sombra Tracer, it's always going in while letting your team basically tank the attention. So God, I wish I could. Why can't I That's so annoying.
Four, three, two, one. Round two. Capture the objective.
Did somebody switch your N and M keys?
I can't press any keys. Because I don't play Sombra here. This is not a good example. I play Brigitte. Or no, I don't play Brigitte. I play Mei. God, that's so annoying. I'm upset. Anyway, I don't. I can like I can show like more VODs to like positioning, but I don't know if that's like what will help you guys out. Are there like any questions, like something I need to like re-explain, or did I not like cover something well?
I have one question on Ash.
On Ash, yeah.
Here. If you check stream. So, I tend to do this a lot. Like I get the headshot and then scope out. Is that fine?
Don't mess with an original.
Wait, what's the question? Sorry, I gotta turn down the volume.
That's fine. I tend to like get the headshot and then
that's like a path combo. I don't know. Yeah.
I feel like it would only be good if the bots are like at medium range. If it's like long range,
like if they're close by, I do that. If long range, I don't. Like anything past like around here, like that distance, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a classic Ash combo.
Right.
If you can hit it, go for it. It's honestly not a bad combo because it's quick. But it's also like do a double scope shot. Like back to back. Yeah, it's just a tad quicker. Like if you feel like you can hit it more easier, then go for it. So honestly, it's not bad. It's just understanding like the distance, making sure you're hitting it. That's not bad though. There any other questions? You know, stuff I need to re-explain.
I'm not sure.
Does this help anyone? Or
yeah.
I'm gonna come out with like a little my practice routine kind of video shortly soon. But I can like if you guys want me to go over like a VOD, I can easily do that, or I can like watch you play. Because because it's a lot easier to like see you play and then you know, show you what you're doing wrong.
Uh,
Yeah, is that like everything? Do you want to?
um,
Well, there's.
no, I can't think of any specific questions right now.
Okay. Well, let me know. Feel free to DM
Oh,
me.
I have a question.
Mhm.
So I play a lot of Symmetra, and I want to go over a little bit about like tracking instead of just like hitting shots and stuff, and how to get better at that.
So
Use arm.
just use no. You could track well as wrist. It's arm is more consistent, but you can't do well with wrist aiming. So what helps me out is just the first thing, cursor at head level, and then just getting more control of my sense. Like let me go into like training. There's like this little like thing you can do in the practice range that can help. But honestly, just like trying to get more comfortable with your sense and just trying to get a more good feel of it and like in control. Like you can go to a bot and just like move like left to right and on their head and just try and like keep it always at their head. That like helped me out at the beginning. But if honestly you can start off by like going into like maybe a Zen, like a Zen bots lobby and just trying to like practice at the body, like getting used to tracking at the body first and then starting to go for the head or like neck level. But honestly, just practicing on like these training bots, just getting used to moving your cursor across there and just getting like more comfortable with it. And like trying to be as like close as you can and then getting used to like moving while tracking as well. If that like helped.
Yeah, it did.
Grace wants to know if you have any advice for hit scan support specifically, like Bap and Anna.
So there's a quick scoping that's really good. I think honestly just trying to be more patient with shots, like just trying to like I think the biggest thing that helped me out, just it sounds like simpler. It sounds very simple to, you know, say, but just like getting more used to my sense and just trying to get very like comfortable with like, controlling it. Like if you're just flicking like this all the time and you're not really like you're not having to do like I used to do this reset thing and you're not really in control of your sense, but you gotta like take time and like be more patient and just, you know, try to be as calm as you are with your shots. Like think of like playing Widow. You don't ever want to be like flicking like crazy as Widow. You want to be patient, like calm with your shots, because when you like when you build your foundation off of that, then you can start being more like going for the flicks because now you have a foundation you can like build off of. So understanding like your sense and getting more comfortable with tracking, just like spending time like each day like practicing your tracking, or like practicing like tracking the body, or just getting more in control of your like mouse is, you know, what helped me. It's a little bit more of like it'll show off in the long run kind of ordeal, but it's really beneficial to do it. Because I spent like a month or two like grinding out this technique of where I would like track and then go like for short flicks as like McCree, and it's pretty consistent. It's just, you know, figure out there's different like techniques and not every technique works for like everyone. So I can like post some like videos of like techniques that I found that were pretty consistent. Just honestly, like just getting more comfortable with your sense. And if you don't feel like comfortable, you don't feel like it's natural, then maybe you just need to change it because you should feel like very comfortable with it. Should be like a second nature to you. If that helps, I don't know if that, you know, let me know if I need to like explain something, or if that if I need to do like a different way of it saying it. Any more questions? I know this is like scuffed as fuck. So I apologize.
That's alright.
That's fine.
Be like that.
Be like that sometimes.
Just aim bot forehead. Just just visor. Yeah. You know a soldier does more damage out of visor than in visor?
Really? I thought he shot faster. I mean, you have headshots, but I thought he shot faster in Visor.
Now you can get more value out of headshots than you can out of the Visor, because Visor, that's all body shots.
When I use Visor, I literally can't kill anything, but
It's
without
so
it,
dog
I'm
shit.
perfectly fine.
Yeah, it's like, it's such a bad ability. Unless you have nano with it, or like a mercy boost, it's so bad.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like the best situations to use Visor in period are like when a mercy valks and just punishing that, or like if there's a
I only
Pharah.
use it if there's hard targets. Yeah.
Like, it's honestly,
Like-
without nano, it's just kind of like an ability you can just use whenever, or whenever you like see fit, honestly. Like, if Mercy just used, or not Mercy, if Pharah just used shift in the air, so she's an easy kill. It's like High Noon, you know. With High Noon, like, you can get value. Oh, so tip, with High Noon, you can break Ryan's shield, and that can help your team go for like a shatter.
Yeah.
That's what I do a lot in scrims. It's pretty fun. Unless there's a diva.
Yeah. The damage on Deadeye builds exponentially. So if there's like 1 or 2 people behind Reinhardt's shield and you hold Deadeye, after a couple of seconds it'll be enough damage to break the shield and maybe even kill a couple people. Just hold it for as long as you feel comfortable with and as long as people are behind it, and then they'll burst it down.
Yeah, I think getting better at hitscan is just, I think, building a strong foundation off mechanics. And then second is just, you know, experimenting with different playstyles, figuring out, you know, this is, you know, should I go for a flank here? Should I just like testing things out? Because honestly, like DPS is all about just making decisions. It doesn't, you know, you learn from experience and from like watching other people and like them making decisions, whether or not they're like, what are the good ones? This is a good decision here. This is a bad decision there. Like, just making, you know, you make mistakes and you learn from them, but you just kind of like make decisions and go for it. Like, DPS isn't. I had an issue where I would play like passive and I wouldn't like I wouldn't go for plays, or I wouldn't try anything because I would be afraid that, you know, I would feed my ass off. We would lose because of it. But honestly, like in like scrim environment or like in quick play, like don't be afraid to go for plays. Like, that's what DPS is all about: making plays, making those decisions, and, you know, going for things, like figuring out, you know, what needs to be done, and maybe flanking Kira as Hanzo will give me more value than just me shooting in from my team. That kind of like helps out.
Yeah. I think just making plays in general and figuring out what works and doesn't work is very important.
Just going for things, because honestly, like, that experience will like will start building off of it. Like, you gain knowledge off of it as well. Like, you get game knowledge, you get, you know, experience off of it. You understand, like, okay, this is a better use of my ability here than doing it over there against this team. Like, it's really just beneficial, like, to people. Like, ML7, he's a god, but you bet he fucking made so many mistakes. There's the friend. The friend makes mistakes all the time, but he's still a fucking good player. He's made so many mistakes that he's learned from them. That's just... You don't get to the top by just not failing. You don't get to the top by not making mistakes. I think that's one of the... And like to be like easier on yourself, because if you set your ambition high, and your expectations high, and when you fail, it'll just I don't know. For me, I just beat myself up about it. But I have to learn to, you know, appreciate my achievements and, you know, recognize, you know, the payoff will come. It just might take a little bit, and I have to be confident in myself, because, you know, in fact, like, everyone's a good player. You just gotta work on things, and it'll take time. But, you know, it's taking those little steps, because those little steps will help you leap. That's a good analogy. I think just going for plays, if you're a DPS player, just, you know, trying out things. That's how, like, it helps you understand, you know, what play style I should be using here, or should I be aggressive here, or should I not? Because if you go for it, then it'll honestly give you a better answer, and it'll show you a lot more than what, you know, I could show you. Because learning in game and playing the game as much as possible and just testing things out will honestly benefit you a lot more than me just telling you guys, like, oh, this will help. Yeah, just do this forehead. Just don't do that in situations. Yeah, if you guys ever like want to send me a VOD, like, feel free. I'm currently working on to people's VODs and like doing a VOD review because it's easier to show you what you've done wrong after you've done it. And honestly, like just going over your own VODs because it's easy to see like what you're doing wrong from like a third person's perspective. Because I know that when I was like new to scrims and I was playing like Reaper, I'd be like, damn, why am I dying so much? And I'd go over the VOD. I'm like, man, I'm really out of position here. I should not be here. This is the worst position for me to be in. Yeah, like it just like any questions, anything I need to go over.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I think that's it. Hopefully, like I explained things well and they helped. I can always like re-explain things or just try it a different way. That's just kind of like how this is just how I've gotten better at the game just from trying things out and trying to spending time and like putting the time into like every day and practicing out my mechanics. And it's just it's my routine. Is I think finding a routine for every player will benefit you a lot. Like I know that I get on and I get in practice range for like 10 minutes. I go through my set of heroes and then I go to Autobots and that's just that's my routine. And then after scrims, if I'm not gonna play, I do 30 minutes of practice and that's about it. Like I have my own routine and I think finding your own routine and figuring out this is the best way for me to warm up will benefit you a lot as well. But yeah, I mean, if there's no questions and no suggestions, that's about it. Is there like anything else?
No, that's it.
Alright, hopefully I explain things well, and if not, just let me know, DM me. I can always help out. I'm always around, so feel free to just, message. But yeah. That's pretty much it.
I'm gonna try and find some decent VODs for you to look at, and once I'm like in a situation where I'm comfortable with it, I'm gonna